My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, and I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And Jessie is not with us today. She is working this week. She's got a big old work project, so she'll be back soon. Don't worry. We're cool. It's all good. But now, to get down to business. Tonight! Dun, dun, dun. It's that time again. Well, see, I always love when I introduce, like, the segment, because you saw the title of the episode before you clicked it. So, like, you know it's the Newsnas. You know, but the Newsnas are back. We're here to bring you a small slice of Asian entertainment news. I mean,
because it's been a long time.
I was gonna say breaking news, but it's really not.
It's not.
Some of this stuff happened months ago.
Like, it's, we're just bringing you.
While.
Basically, we want to bring you some stories that we thought were interesting. But before we get into that, we have to do our same thing we do at the beginning of every Newsnas. It's enlistment time, and. I'm giving you the info, okay? Jin from BTS has already enlisted, and J-Hope has taken himself off the enlistment suspension list, so he'll be enlisting soon. Lee Do-hyun will also be enlisting soon. Namju Hyuk is enlisting in this month as a military policeman, so he's already been given his assignment, as has Chahyun. Who's joining the military band. Kim Jae-hyun has yet to get his exact date, so Dong-sung will be enlisting at the same time with him to minimize the hiatus for N flying, which I think is smart.
Yeah, he's a much younger kiddo, so the fact that he decided to go ahead and do that was interesting.
Mino from Winner, he will be enlisting on the 24th of March, and Y from Golden Child will be on March 20th, but don't worry, not all is lost. We're getting some people back soon. One of which is Jang Ki-young is already back.
Yeah,
baby. I feel like sometimes it just feels like they've been in there forever, and sometimes it seems like they just left and they're already back.
Yeah.
Time is bizarre.
I think with actors sometimes, the fact that sometimes they are in something that continues to air after they've already left.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they've been gone that long because you were just watching them in something like...
Well, like, for instance, Cha-hun, he'll be enlisting on the 20th. He has a drama that has not even started airing yet. So, like, it'll be airing probably well after he goes. So, yeah, that type of thing really affects when you think shorter.
Becky...
Sorry, all I was going to say was, I'm sure that there are also a lot of people that came back that were not listing because it's been a lot of months since we've done this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, Baekhyun has just returned to us.
Yeah. And
we got some people coming back in April, real soon. We got Young K from Day 6 coming back in April. Shonu's coming back. Taemin's coming back. So, we got some people coming back.
Like, Shonu's another one where it doesn't
feel like
he's been gone because he keeps doing those, like, all those
I feel like he's been gone forever, but, like, Taemin, I feel like just came back.
It's so weird. It's weird how it's different for different people, right? Like, I feel like Shonu's been gone for a long time, but I also feel like, I don't know, like, I haven't been in the K-pop zone that much, so, like, it didn't feel like he was missing because there was vlogs to watch, and I could watch him eating because that's what he does. So it was sort of like, yeah, okay, but I'm still excited that he's coming back.
So people, they be coming back. So they'll be back soon, and that's very exciting. We love to see it. As they go away, they all return. So worry not, friends. It's all good.
It always goes by faster than you think it will, too. Like, when it's your first, though, like, for those of you who are new to this whole system and it's your first big one, it always feels like the end of the world. Like, it feels huge, and then you're like, oh, that wasn't that hard. I'm okay.
Not bad at all.
Because there's always new people coming back. There's always new people debuting. There's always new people. So, like, you will find things to enjoy that will make the time speed by.
A bunch of members of VAV, Lu and Xiu, just came back. Dongjung from ZEA came back right at the end of January. Sungwoo from Victon came back at the end of January. Because we haven't done this in a little while. Woodan from DICE is coming back soon. So we got some people returning to us. So it's very exciting, and we're very excited to have them back. So now, enlistments, we have the next section that we do before the beginning of this, which is there's been some member changes, some disbandments, and some agency shenanigans. We're here to give you some info on that. Sky, take it away. What's first? What do we got first?
So first, I will say I'll go ahead and rip this Band-Aid off. So if you're an Astro fan, you probably already know, but Rocky, it's been 7 years since Astro started, and so their contract did come up at 7 years, and so most of them have re-signed, but Rocky chose to leave Astro as well as the entertainment company Fantagio. So no other news on that. I do fully support him making whatever choices he needs to make. He has been a trainee since he was 11.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yikes.
So he has been in the idol system for 14 years, which is like over half of his life.
That's a long time.
And so as far as we have no news on like what his hopes are, or anything. Plus, like, the reality is he did have a relationship announcement a few months back. So, like, you never know what the behind the scenes is for any of these things. There's, of course, a heck ton of speculation on Roja Twitter. But the reality is we have no idea. And we don't know answers on that. But I will always support, like, I hope he's good. Seems like he's fine. I much prefer someone choosing to go do what they want to go do and be happy, be it, he might even be leaving that career entirely. He can go do whatever he wants. That's totally fine.
Has he done his military service yet? He hasn't.
No.
No.
He's, if I had to guess his age off the top of my head, he's probably 26.
So
maybe a little lower than that, actually.
That might be coming. It would be coming soon anyway. So, like,
maybe he'll go do that. And
if he doesn't know what to do, like, I don't know, but.
But well. I mean, I even know this past year he had a lot of, like, he starred in a few web dramas. He did musical theater, a lot of that. Like, he's done a lot of a variety of things. So, like, he did hosting for, like, idol variety show type things. So I hope that he just, whatever he wants to go do, that he's going to have a good time of it, and that we'll be able to maybe eventually hear what he's up to. Of course, like, it's really sad. It's a 6-member group. Taking one out is a huge deal. But, and we didn't see it coming. The announcement is a couple months after those other contract renewals did get announced to the media. So, like, we knew something was up probably with the contract situation, and we expected maybe him to leave the company but stay with the group. That's what our expectation probably was at the worst. And so the leaving of the group was very surprising to the fans. So, but that's that. So that was my big to do with that. Yeah. Amanda, would you like to pick one?
Well, YG Entertainment, they are leaking talent like a sieve, which is, I mean, to be fair, Blackpink is technically still under the umbrella. They're with an affiliate called Black Label, where Teddy hangs out. It's, they're still, it's like Taeyang. They're still there. They're just not there. But actor Kang Dong-won has also terminated his contract with YGE, and all 6 remaining members of iKON have bounced.
They booked
their
it, baby.
contract ended, and they
were
ran.
like, peace.
So
good for them. Good for them. And they're still together as
like
iKON. Like they're like, no, we're just gonna go to not YG.
We're gonna be somewhere else.
Literally just not YG,
And they did just announced that they have some stuff coming up, and I can't remember. Their first thing is going to be Bobby's got a solo coming up. So, and then and a tour. That's it. They've announced that they're going to do a tour, and that Bobby has got a solo single coming out, or project, or album, or whatever. So, stay tuned, folks. They've left YG, but not entertainment. So.
So we got like a few more people done be leaving. Munich left DKZ, and from what I gather from DKZ Twitter, this wasn't an unexpected situation.
Yeah. Wasn't he on hiatus from the group for quite a while?
Yeah, he was on hiatus for quite a while, I believe. And then in a stunning move of thumbs-uppery, a member of the group Blank2Y, Blanky, I don't know how.
Blank.
Yeah, we don't know. Youngbin was kicked out because he was an abusive boyfriend, and they said, nah, we don't want that energy. But it did cause the group to cancel their first U.S. tour, so I feel a little bad for the rest of the group, because, like,
yeah, and
I'm
the
sure
fans,
they were working hard.
Anything like that.
But yeah, so that's what's going on, and people done be leaving groups.
So I got a couple of disbandments for you. The first one, Brave Girls, they're disbanding after their last single, which was released on February 16th. So they have disbanded. But, you know, good on them for leaving on a high note. Like,
yeah.
They got to experience a lot of success at the end of that career, and that's a really good thing.
That's really good for them.
But also the girl group Bugaboo, they announced their disbandment a little over a year after their debut.
I just feel like they didn't give them a chance to,
right?
You know?
I will say crummy name, but that's not the girl's fault. So.
Yes, it's not like they picked
it. Right, like, but it is
true.
But yeah, so that's a couple of disbandments.
Yeah, in some sort of contracty news, GWSN won their first trial to terminate their contracts with Wave Media, which Wave Media has basically ceased to exist. It still exists on paper, but like basically one day the managers showed up at the office and it, you know, like dust bunnies swirling around. It was, nobody was there, the doors were locked, and the building had been emptied, and
which is
nobody's
wild.
been paid, and nobody's like, there's been no support for the group or money or anything happening for like over a year. For the foreign members, the visas, all that stuff has not been dealt with, and the girls, but they're still under a contract and can't go do anything anywhere else.
So stupid. So
they won
stupid.
Their contract. They won their first trial to terminate that contract.
Good.
Move on with their lives. So, good for them.
Excellent. We love to see it. Speaking for some more contract situations, we'll do a couple of these. Uptension members Lee Jin-hyuk, Kyun, Kyagyal, Bido, Sunyal, and Gyujin have terminated their contract with Top Media, but I believe are still staying with the group, so it's one of those...
Yeah, it does look like that.
And Chungha has terminated her... Well, she's not re-signing. It's not like she went in and was like, I'm suing to get out of this. She's just like, nah, we're good. So she has also left MNH Entertainment.
It does seem like that process is going to take a little bit longer than was originally announced to the media, by the way. As far as an exact end date on that, it's kind of a little up in the air because I think it's quite the process, which is unfortunate, but she is working on leaving. Yeah. It might take a little bit. I thought this was a cute bit of news, so I'm going to share it. 50/50, a newer girl group, they announced their fan club name, which I thought was great.
It is cute.
So again, the name is 50/50, and the fan club name is Honeys.
Adorable.
You know, like as in 50 is half of 100 honeys, but then also honeys, like cute.
It's a real
honeys.
knee slapper of a fandom name.
I like it when they pick cute names.
Yeah,
like go with
and I like when they pick cute names, and it's clear that someone has like thought through the implications in English, the language that this fandom name is in. I'm looking at you, Wonho. Okay, someone at Highline did not think through his fandom name. I'm just putting that out there. But Honeys is so cute. That's so
Very
cute. Yeah, I love it.
We have to mention for Jessie, because she's not here, she's very, very proud of Taekyon. 2PM's Taekyon has signed with the U.S. talent agency William Morris Endeavor, which is where Quentin Tarantino and Ridley Scott and Matthew McConaughey and Tom Holland and Michael B. Jordan and like director Bong Joon-ho, Bae Doona, like there have been a lot of people there who
I'm sensing American film debut tech coming soon.
So stay tuned because that's exciting. So
that is really exciting. And for people joining some other agencies, we have Lee Hiyori joined Hee-yeol's agency Antenna. Her husband, Lee Sang-soon, is also there, as is Yoo Jae-suk. So both of them are there. And Bae Doona done signed a new management contract with Goodman Story. So people moving around, making moves.
Yeah.
Doing their thing, finding new places to live. You love to see it.
And finally, in case you didn't get the news, a couple of the Luna ladies, they won their cases for termination. They're terminating their contract against Blockberry Creative. So the ones that are allowed to terminate their contract are Heejin, Kim Lip, Jinsol, and Chiori. But unfortunately, Haseol, Yojin, Eves, Gowon, and Olivia Hay lost their cases. But it doesn't seem like they're necessarily giving up. Like, it's all a thing. This leaves Luna in limbo as they've gone from 12 members down to 7. And they seem to have been, put in the basement, essentially.
Blockberry's doing some fucking bullshit, okay? Especially with, what's the cute one? The first one who left.
Chu,
thank you.
Yeah.
They tried to, sue so that she couldn't, basically work in the entertainment industry. And it's just give it up. Give it up.
Yeah.
You lost, deal with it. Move on. Don't this
Don't
never,
be bitter.
all this does is make no one else want to join your agency.
Right. And I feel so bad. I think there's 2 members of Luna who are foreign members that, couldn't, 2 or 3, who just simply couldn't because, as soon as their contracts were terminated, they'd have to leave the country and stuff. But, those 5 girls who sued for termination and didn't get it, you can only imagine that Blockberry's going to make their lives hell now.
Yeah.
So hopefully something else comes up that allows them to escape.
Next, we move on to the fun segment before the news segments. That's right. Engagements, weddings, and babies. Engagements, weddings, and babies. It's the love section. The last section, less love. This section, more love.
Well,
more love.
And I guess a passing too.
Yeah, there's a couple of...
Yes.
Which is,
in memoriam. So we got a few people who got dated and married to non-celebrities. Actress Lee Yoo-young is dating a non-celebrity. I hope they're happy. And actor Hugh Gay, or Hugh G, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry. I apologize. Hugh Gee announced that he's secretly married to a non-celebrity, and that they have a little girl. I always find these just they're listen, you told us that we weren't allowed to date, but we be doing it.
His letter to his fans was really cute. He just basically said she's not a celebrity and she's shy, and I just did not have the interest, but I want to be upfront with you guys. I got married. I have a baby. We're happy. Hope you can be happy for me.
Yeah.
And
in the end of the trilogy of people dating non-celebrities, singer Holland is put out pictures of his boyfriend and him. And
them being all cute together.
They were very cute, and we're happy for him. I love, he's such good energy, such good energy.
I'm trying to pick which one. Oh, so here's a big one. Lee Jong-suk and IU announced that they're dating.
I love it so much.
That's a big star power in that relationship. But like,
yeah,
it's obvious that they were friends for a really long time. And
the way he announced
so awesome.
it, though. The way he wrote this letter about how he's been in love with her for like a decade, but like he didn't like simp, the simp energy of it all. I love it. I love a man who's so in love. Like, chef's kiss. Good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah. Eric Mun and his wife Na Hyemi have had their baby. They had a son on March 1st. And also, who else was... Oh, Yoon Sung-ah and Kim Mul-yeol are expecting their first child. They've been together for 11 years, and they've just announced their first pregnancy. So, that's exciting.
We got more babies in love. So Song Joong-ki married a British actress, Katie Louise Saunders, and she having a baby too. It's fertility in the air. So we love to see it. Good for them. I hope they're happy. I hope that it works out for them.
So I guess I'm gonna steal this one from Natalia since she didn't grab it.
I was going with the babies theme, but this I know which one you're going for.
Is there another baby for me to do first?
No, there's no other babies. That's it for baby. Well, there's probably more, but these are all we know about baby-wise.
Yeah.
True. Hyuna and Dawn, they had broken up.
Love is dead.
But then they reportedly got back together 2 months later.
Love is alive, everyone. Yeah, that's right.
The memes when they broke up, when they announced that they broke up, and people,
we were like, our parents
love is dead everywhere, right?
Yeah.
We're like, come on, like they're young people who broke up, but apparently they couldn't stay broken up. So
love is alive. Love is back.
Just in case people are forgetting, they did announce that they were engaged prior to all this too. So that was all an aspect of that as well.
In some Japanese news, Makita Kaida and Hyunri announced that they had gotten married. It's not clear whether they got married on Christmas Day or they just announced on Christmas Day that they have been married for a while. We're not sure, but like, good for them.
It doesn't matter.
Live your life. And then also Japanese American actors and brothers, Arata Hakanu and Maida Gordon, both announced their respective marriages on the birthday of their late father, who was a rather famous Japanese, I think, director. So they, on the anniversary of his birthday, they both announced, hey, marriage, yay. So good for them. Some
levity to the day. And I'm returning the favor and stealing one from Sky.
Yeah, we switched. I supposed to grab that one?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Our boy Lee Seung-gi, he's getting married in April to the actress Lee Dayan. And Yoo Jae-suk's gonna be the MC of their wedding, which I think is very cute. Obviously, this came on very quickly after the whole Seung-gi discovering that his management company had been stealing from him millions of dollars and lying to him for near on a decade. And
then him making his own company.
And making his own company, his, donating all the money he got to charity from the lawsuit that he filed and everything. And so it makes one question, were they perhaps also preventing him from announcing his dating?
Right? Like, it just came so fast. You wonder if...
Like, he's free now. He's
moved just
to freedom.
That they gaslit him so bad and made him feel so inadequate or something that he didn't think he had something to offer.
Now I will say...
marriage. Let's do this.
This relationship news was divisive within the K-Nets stuff because her family was, blah blah blah. It's ridiculous. So that was an aspect. Like I did see a couple of headlines like K-Nets are upset, blah, whatever.
Well,
Let him
of course
let him,
they
let
are.
him go
I'm
live.
like, listen, I don't want to tell. No, you know what? I'm gonna tell. The average like hive mind opinion of like netizens is the dumbest shit you've ever seen, and like the least informed shit you've ever seen on average. So like, who gives a shit if netizens are upset that he's getting like fuck
and
off.
It's very like, oh, the sins of the family type thing.
And it's like she didn't do it. Like she literally changed her name and is like living her own life. Like fuck off. Just fuck off. Jesus Christ.
So I will say, here's a couple of passings real quick. Actor Na Chol, he recently appeared in Weak Hero Class, Little Women, Vincenzo. He died in the hospital on January 21st.
So sad.
And actress Yoon Jung-ki, she was 78 when she passed. She was a famous and prolific actress of the 60s and 70s. She's said to have passed peacefully with her family present.
I think the thing I read said that her son or her grandson, she died listening to him play her the violin, and like, it's just like, okay, they were like, it was as good as it could possibly be, was basically what the family said. So that's nice for them.
All right, moving on to the main segment. We got some news, baby.
News.
Newsnas with news. All right, Amanda, what do you got?
All right, we're gonna start off with Netflix. Netflix is Netflixing. So they've announced that there's password sharing restrictions. So every 31 days, your device has to log into your home base in order to keep on, to avoid password sharing and, whatever. So
it's like the dumbest idea I've ever seen.
I wanted to share a super quick, wholesome little story associated with this. That's really funny. So the author John Green, part of Vlogbrothers, he had this TikTok thing where there's definitely this guy on his Netflix account that he doesn't know, like this random guy has been for years. Omar. So like he had already done a TikTok like being like, "Hey Omar, like nice to see ya." Like there was one of those like just explaining that fun situation that he doesn't care about. He's fine with this random guy being on his account. So then when this news came out, he had another TikTok where he was like, "Okay, Omar, I set our network password to your like name on our thing, and you can drive on by." Like he was making it to where Omar could come do this.
Log
could come
in.
He's like,
Omar, hit me up.
Yeah.
Just drive past my Wi-Fi.
That's what he said. Just drive by, use that. It's the same as like my name, like he made it to where Omar could see all these things and just drive by and log in. And I was like, that's legit. Like that's a really cute way to get around that.
No, I was like, "Hey mom, like I'm sorry. The good times are now over." Like
sorry, bye.
But what I don't understand about this whole thing, which I think is what a lot of people don't understand about Netflix's decision to do this, it's not like this is going to make more people get accounts. This is just going to make more people cancel Netflix. Because like I was paying for like the highest tier of Netflix so that like my mom and my sister could also be on it, and we just like reduced it down to like the lowest one without ads since they did it, because it's like, well, if they can't use it, why am I paying this? And it's not like my mom's gonna get it. She just she's not gonna get her own
if
Netflix.
Your sister does the same thing and your mom's not doing it, then basically they're still just making $20. Like
they're only making $10.
Congratulations. Well, yeah, but I mean, if your sister gets us,
no, my sister's not getting it. My sister has no money. That's why she was on my Netflix, because she's low. This was a charity move from me to her, Like, she don't got Netflix money. So, good job,
Netflix.
Good job, Netflix. So, and people just canceling left, right, and center. So it's like, Netflix, fucking idiots.
So Netflix, since they make a lot of other bad moves as far as canceling shows and whatnot, it's always, this is definitely the straw to break the camel's back for a lot of people. Like, this isn't a good move.
Yeah, they were like hanging in because of like longevity, right? It's like they're still at Netflix because they've had Netflix, like, for me, I think I've had Netflix since 2012.
And maybe they hadn't touched their account settings of which level of membership tap for like a few years because they were okay-ish with it. But then you go screwing around with it. Oh, that makes people go look, and it makes people cancel.
We before they announced this, we got rid of our Netflix, but we were hanging on to it because for a while we had like grandfathered in pricing and some different stuff, right? And so my husband was like, well, but are we going to lose that? And so I went and looked. I said, babe, we are paying the price. Like, we don't have any special pricing anymore. We're just paying the regular price. So he's like, oh, so like we just come back and I'm like, yeah, I guess. So like, whatever.
And if I was paying, like 20 something bucks for 4 screens, why do you give a shit where those screens are located?
Right?
Like, if I was paying for those four profiles, why do you care?
Well, and just even the ridiculousness of just if you think college kids, just the reality of the typical nuclear family, like the very, very stereotypical. Like, come on,
get it together.
My older kids are graduating high school within the next few years. They'll be moving out. They'll be going off to college and stuff. Disney doesn't care where they are. Mm-hmm. So guess what? Disney can have my streaming money.
No, that's what I was like to my sister, my mom. I'm like, don't worry. Here's my sign in for Disney Plus.
There's lots of stuff to watch over there.
Welcome. I think I've also I've got Jessie on my Disney Plus too. We don't even live in the same country. Disney doesn't care. I've got my downstairs neighbors on it. They don't care. I've got my friend's kid. Nobody can. I've got so many accounts.
Or even some of the smaller streaming services, like we've mentioned Dropout before, because Natalia and I like that one. They actually had, so during this time when Netflix announced it, Dropout, like on their Instagram or somewhere, they were like, hey, we encourage, like, if you love your friend, go ahead and share your account, buddy.
Hilarious is that Netflix, like 4 or 5 years ago, had a tweet about how like true love is sharing your Netflix password, and they haven't deleted it. Like, it's still there.
Like, guys,
and you're like, hey, that didn't age well, did it? Like,
okay, so to kind of connect with this with Netflix type things, we talk about the swoon a fair bit. We kind of always mention it it kind of started as a YouTube channel where they share the Korean entertainment Netflix behind the scenes stuff, the games done with cast. They even do like trailers and clip compilations, things like that. So the Swoon was the name of that account on YouTube and Instagram. They were not even on Twitter. So suddenly, like as of today, as of recording, they have announced that they have changed their name. So if all of a sudden if you've already subscribed to these things, or if you are looking to subscribe to, this is all free stuff. Free. I don't want to make this sound like another subscription thing. If you're just interested in Netflix Korean stuff, so the title is now Netflix K-content. So if you're already following the Swoon on Instagram, they've already changed the name. So if suddenly you're seeing like, what's this Netflix K-content thing? That is what the Swoon use. That is what it is. And they do now have a Twitter account too. So if you're still on the dying platform like we are, that is there. But the Swoon is a really good time. As far as, it's obvious sometimes that the content there, it is ran by Netflix Korea, and then of course it just gets subtitled and pumped through the Swoon. Other times it seems very more English based, so it kind of, it's interesting to see kind of which side it is. But a lot of cute compilations and things as well. So Netflix K-content if you're looking for that.
Taking it down to Korea, this kind of, I have a few stories to go with this one, because it's about the city of Busan. The city of Busan has adopted a new tourism slogan, which is "Busan is good." This makes me laugh so hard, and the reason it does, it's for several reasons. Okay, so I was born in the province of New Brunswick in Canada, and the motto for New Brunswick has this same energy, and the motto for New Brunswick is "Be in this place." That was the best they could think to say about New Brunswick. It's like, when you're here, you're here. But also, this one, I remember this from very young. My mom is from a town called Pittman, New Jersey. and the town motto of Pittman, New Jersey is "Everybody likes Pittman." And I remember as a young kid being like, they couldn't muster love for Pittman. Like, the energy of Busan is good is that same energy where it's like, you couldn't think of anything. Like, there's so much you could say.
Now, is the motto in Korean, I assume?
Yeah.
Or is it in English?
No. I think it's translated.
Yeah, because the thing that I pulled it from had all the graphics, and then the tweeter had, like, translated them. And the thing that gets me about this is that not just they couldn't come up with something better, this is what the people of Busan voted for. There was like three different options.
Sadder.
And that's even the choice.
They were like, this is the energy we could come up with. Like, yeah, it's fine here. Like, it's aight. Like, it's not bad. Like, that's the energy. It's like, could be worse. You couldn't even go, Busan is great. It's like, Busan is fine.
Given what you see in, like, K-dramas, the Busan people are always the thugs and the whatever, right? Like,
they're
like,
tough,
right?
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, maybe they were like, no, we're good.
No,
like,
we're
not tough,
like
good.
that. It's all fine. Anyway, I just think it's so funny because since I've lived in so many places that I've had just lackluster mottos like this, I'm just like, I know this energy. Like, this is someone being very realistic about their hometown. Like,
I'll go ahead and do this because I want to. So in Flying's Yu Hui-sung, he won King of the Masked Singer. Like, he won however many cycles in order to become the king of that. So in case you don't know, the way that works is
it's hard.
They don't really release who it is. It's more like fans have figured out it is him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously. But they're not like, hey, this is him. So he has a mask. They do change his voice when he's talking. Like, so you can't recognize that. But the way this works is pretty much he will be the reigning king until someone dethrones him. Yeah. He is the fourth male idol that has accomplished this, which is a very, very long-running show. So, like, it's a big deal. So good for him. And what's kind of cute is his mask is like, it is a trophy. Like, it's a trophy cup. Like, that's his mask. So it's cute.
That's cute.
We bag on the management companies and stuff for K-pop groups a lot because there's a lot of terrible stuff that happens with them. But Jellyfish Entertainment has done something right for a change. This is nice to see. There was a filmed interaction between Very Very's Young Sung and a fan who was being very abusive to him and like just saying terrible things to him and making him very, very uncomfortable. It's very clear he's uncomfortable and upset. And they have blacklisted this fan from all events. No more fan signs for you, my friend. You are out. They're blocked from the fan cafe. They are blocked. Like, they're out. We need that energy going forward.
We need that energy for, like, the say-sang energy.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and just so you know, so sometimes you have to be pretty deep within a fandom to be aware that companies very regularly do blacklist, like, if there's like, the say-sang type fan accounts that do a lot of pictures where they're not supposed to and stuff, a lot of times those do get blacklisted, but it's not common knowledge to, like, outsiders, really.
Yeah.
But as far as, it would be nice if it was a little bit more common,
public,
to where it would be, hey, we appreciate
people.
So then you would know, hey, this company is taking care of their people. I appreciate, like, pump that up. That is a good thing. It's good that hits the media sometimes to be like, yeah, they actually did something right.
Well, and I think too, because so much of what we get from companies is those apologies for things that they shouldn't be apologizing for and stuff like that, that it doesn't feel like they have their talents back. So something like this where it's very clear, like, no, he's not doing anything wrong here. You are the person who is being wrong. Yeah. So, like, bye-bye. Yeah.
So. Speaking of say-sang behavior, let me tell you, Namjoon BTS he's been going through it.
Poor guy.
With just constantly having his privacy being just absolutely violated. The first thing that happened was he had been very privately going to a temple and donating money at this temple just for some, private seclusion to get some time to himself, as everyone is entitled to do. And then the head monk just decided to publicize it for no reason. Just, and then RM was like, well, I guess I can't go back there. Like, I thought that it was private. And then we find out that over the past 3 years, a Korail employee, so that's the public train system that runs all through Korea, has been accessing his private information multiple times. They've been suspended, not fired, suspended, pending investigation. And that's just fucking wild. Just don't do this. Like,
right.
if you're in a position like this where you have, like, someone's, like, access to someone's private, don't do it. Mm-hmm. Resist the temptation, just let them. It's also a crime. Mm-hmm. It is a criminal act. So anyway, I feel really bad for him. Like,
yeah.
Because then you start to become, the more things that these things sort of happen, I can only imagine you start to become incredibly paranoid about, like, what's next? Is your doctor going to, like, someone, like the receptionist at your doctor's office going to reveal your medical stuff? Is, your dentist going to put your fucking, x-rays somewhere? Like, the person at the passport office, like, you can't, I would imagine it would be incredibly paranoia-inducing. So I feel really bad for him.
Well, and again, this is stuff that gets revealed to the media. Just imagine the things that happen on a routine basis that they have to deal with things like that.
Yeah.
It's just bad.
Mm-hmm. Bad juju. Not a
fan. So here's some good news. Source Music, they applied for 17 different trademarks for G-Friend, and they were denied each time.
Suck it.
So that means that G-Friend, they get to use their name in songs in the future if they so desire.
You know what?
So that's pretty awesome.
I always love to see just these idols winning against these abusive companies. Yeah. Because, like, it's like Highlight, which used to be Beast, all over again, right? It's like, you don't need to prevent them from continuing being musicians, or to try to. That's
or to maybe earn money from their stuff, or whatever. Like, just
the work that they did, which that you are, like, still gonna get royalties as the copyright holder of, like, these songs, but you're just trying to deny them from getting any.
Right.
Real douche move.
And especially, and all the more since it's always nice when it's a girl group too, because girl groups are so treated poorly, like, even more, so it's nice when it's like, girl group won something. It's like, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's sort of a downer note, but kind of a good note. Like, there's a silver lining to this gray cloud. There's a reality series called Owen Young's Report, Marriage Hell. And it's sort of a reality series where they go into these dysfunctional families and look and go, like, see, marriage sucks. And, like, it's often marriage sucks because, like, the guy is abusing his wife.
For the record,
children.
There are trigger warnings before we get too far into this.
Yes.
So, like, we are going to be discussing domestic abuse and sexual molestation
assault,
and things.
so,
So like, if that...
So be warned. So, check out the time codes. You can see when, on the blog post, you can see where to skip ahead to.
So I guess it's been under fire for a while. But there was an episode back in December that showed a stepfather being kind of creepy to his stepdaughter, who's like 7, and the mom just sitting there, and they kind of, the host and everybody sort of seemed to laugh it off, like, but everybody who watched it in Korea was
horrified.
Like, that man is, like, molesting his stepdaughter. This is not okay. Yeah. Why would you just film it? Why would you film it and air it? Why would you film it and not stop it? Why would you, like, what is going on? So
why
the
would
show
you
has
not
been
call
put on hiatus.
Social workers.
And and police and the government are like looking into it. They're investigating and stuff. The sort of silver lining to it, I guess, is that people in the industry and politicians are now considering that there are laws to protect child actors so that they don't have to do certain situations and stuff, but there's nothing in place currently to protect children on a reality series who just have to be there because their parents decided they wanted to be, right?
Yeah.
So they're looking into that and hopefully planning to increase protections for children with regards to things like reality series and stuff, because like there's been apparently a lot of, you know what,
and this I just gotta say, like, this show isn't, I have watched many an episode, I don't know, against my better judgment, of what's that other one?
Hello Counselor?
Yes, Hello Counselor. Where it's like, you know, sometimes divorce is the best option, and I feel like these shows are really trying to, like, skirt around this by being like, oh, well, maybe you can improve your, you know. No. If your marriage is called marriage hell, get a fucking divorce, okay?
Right.
Like, your kids will thank you. You know? Like, so anyway, so it's like a lot of, I feel like it's showing like, hey, and it's usually like, hey, it's really bad to be someone's wife.
Or kid.
Under a patriarchal system. So I'm hoping that maybe this now extends to more protections for women, and maybe, you know, divorce is sometimes the right answer. Like, sometimes you can work on your problems. Like, if they're problems, you can, domestic violence and, like, sexually being creepy to your 7-year-old. You don't need to work on that.
No.
You really don't. You can just fucking leave. Like, absolutely not. And they should and they should have help to leave, because the most dangerous, we all know, the most dangerous time for a woman in an abusive relationship is when she's trying to leave that abusive relationship. So hopefully this comes up, you know, maybe it opens a dialogue about this. And
also,
for changes.
Like, honestly, to me, a subcategory of this, as far as I would think, as far as law creation or something to the effect of mandatory reporting or responsibility to the producers or creators, you know, the writers of these shows, whatever, the people that look into these situations or film them, that if they see, like, if they become aware of a concern, there should be laws for mandatory reporting for those types of rules. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
To catch this stuff, or even the editors, whoever's looking at any of this stuff.
Whoever sees it, if you see something and you go, this is wrong, like, something about this is wrong, you should just be able to contact a social worker to go look into it. Like, at the very least.
And it should be mandatory. Like, there should be laws in place that should be a part of this, protecting the women, protecting the children, protecting any of these people. Like, that should be a thing.
Yeah. The actress who hosts it got a lot of blowback for some comments that she made, and she did come out and say, who knows how true this is or not, but she did, in defense of herself, say she had, what her comments were part of a much bigger statement, and it got edited to look like she was,
which is entirely possible, because we know how these things go,
right? We know how.
Yeah, like, there's evil editing, and then there's editing to that. To mess with something like that, are you freaking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
Like,
no. So, as far as I know, the show has not gone back to air. They announced a 2-week hiatus, but that was back in December, and I don't think it's ever come back.
Given the types of things that they've been willing to cancel over, like, just badness and comments for no reason, like something ridiculous, like, they should really be willing to cancel a show like this in 2 freaking seconds. Like, this is
but the thing is, like, canceling the show doesn't solve the problems that people were noticing from the show. So it's like, so as much as, like, they were showing, it's like, you imagine how much is still hidden, because people just don't pay attention.
That's the thing, right? I remember having a friend who, I came home and said, I don't think things are okay in her house. And my mom was like, well, like, they seem nice, and, like, she didn't know them that well, and we didn't, you know. But I said, but if they talk to her like that when I'm there as a guest in their home, what do they do when I'm not there, right?
Yeah.
Like that's, and so the same thing with this, right? Like if people are comfortable doing those things in front of other people, what are they doing when there's nobody there?
Yeah.
So
okay, next, moving on, maybe to something slightly more amusing. We go to Natalia's Thai News Corner, a very truncated version of some Thai entertainment news for y'all. First off, the Beyond Cloud mess, I'm not even going to go into it a lot, but Jeff, our good buddy Jeff Satter, has left Beyond Cloud and started his own agency, Saturn, which, what other name were you going to name your personal agency when your name is Jeff Satter? Like, come on. But if you were worried about his upcoming project Wuju Bakery, where he plays an alien, that's still happening. Don't worry. Like, he didn't cancel his projects with them. He just was like, yeah, you're not really gonna be my management company because y'all is a hot mess. But really, the hot mess of Beyond Cloud, that we don't have enough time in the day to deal with that. For some reason, a company has decided to remake Water Boys again. No one can figure out why.
Which, the series was already a remake of a movie.
A movie, so... and both of them were bad. So no one knows. Everyone's like, why are you trying to make Water Boys happen? It's not gonna happen. Like, stop it. We gotta move on from Water Boys. Nobody wants this, but apparently someone is like, the world needs a remake of Water Boys. No, it truly does not need a remake of Water Boys. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Our good friend of the show, Muse Suppaseed, who got, this poor man ends up in this Newsnas too often, and it's always for absolute chicanery. Netizens, the netizen stupidity extends far beyond K-pop. I just want everyone to know. They're stupid everywhere. Got really annoyed at his fans because they kept asking him, even though he said openly, like, yeah, I'm dating someone. He won't say who. We all have speculations. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter for this story. They were, like, very upset that he, like, wasn't talking about his Tharn-type ship, Golf. They haven't acted in anything in, like, 2 years, y'all. And so he finally was like, it's not real, right? Like, that we're actors, right? And people were like, he's being so rude about it, like, he's being so dismissive to fan stuff. And I'm like, no! Like, y'all are hounding this guy. And it's like, of course he's annoyed. It's been years since he was, like, making these shows. And he's like, listen, I've gotten a PhD since then. I put out, like, chart-topping songs, but no, y'all gotta keep bringing up Tharn-type for some fucking reason. And I'm actually on his side with being like, he's pulling a Saint, and I really appreciate that for him. If you're familiar, Saint is another actor who's been in several, like, ships, but as soon as the show's over, he's done.
He bounces.
He's like, I am an actor. I was acting in love with them. I'm not... I was
paid money, and the check did not bounce, so now I will
I'm out. I'm moving on. And so, anyway, listen, the man's in his 30s. He's tired, okay? Just let him fucking move on with his life. Jesus. And finally, in netizens continuing to be stupid, because stupid, the hive mind. So the GL Gap had a child actress in it, and she had a live, and people were, like, asking her questions, and then she said that one of the main actresses, Freen, had a boyfriend, and everyone was like, oh, she's lying, this bitch trying to ruin her career. The kid was 7 years old.
And
they were attacking a 7-year-old.
Like,
they were attacking a 7-year-old on a TikTok live, talking about her coworkers, just, like, chatting. And about I'm tired. Okay, so... Listen, Thai entertainment, just as stupid as Korean entertainment for the most part, but just as exciting. Every once in a while, I'll, like, read these stories, and I just think to myself, like, I wish I knew nothing. Like, I wish I could just watch a show and know nothing. Yeah, I wish I could just never learn about these people's personal lives, because it would make watching these shows so much easier. not being cursed with this knowledge, you know? Anyway, that's like a real highlight of the Thai entertainment industry for you. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Of course there's more, but we just picked some fun highlights for y'all, you know? Sky, what else is going on?
Oh, there's always a ton of things.
There's something going on.
I will mention, Lee Jun-hyuk, he created a mobile game about a lost dog searching for its family after he lost his dog. He's also written a children's book about the story of Popcorn searching for his lost family, based off the mobile game and his own experiences. And what's also sweet is how, like, friend stars that he has, like, they promote, like, his book and things like that. Like, it's really, really cute.
That's so cute.
But he's like, he homeward bound in it, man.
It's so cute.
I just... And the dog's name is Popcorn? Like, come on. It's so wholesome. Like...
It's like, oh, this is wholesome. I'm gonna go cry in a corner now. Thank you.
Yeah, like...
Sort of continuing with something that is uplifting and cool is the girl group Kara became the first girl group ever to earn music award wins in 3 different decades.
Crazy.
They have the win from the 2000s, the 2010, and now the 2020. So that's a lot.
Listen, I'm loving this girl group supremacy.
Right? It's great.
The energy.
Like, congrats.
It's sad that Jesse's not here, because I got some exciting news for Jesse and Citizens, where and Yuta, NCT member Yuta, is cast in a J-drama with Dory.
Ooh!
I know, and they literally just announced it, like, right before we're recording this. I saw the announcement and was like, oh, I wish Jessie was gonna be here tonight. She'd be so excited about this. I'm excited because I like Dory, but Yuta's also my NCT bias. So...
And Yuta, he was also in one of those, like, he was in one of the Higher movies, like, recently.
He was in, like,
High and Low, sorry. High and Low.
Yeah.
He played a Yakuza.
Yeah.
So this is not a Yakuza base. This looks like a it's based on a manga. It's about 4 boys becoming friends. Not gay, just friends.
We shall start praying now that we will have access to see this thing.
But I feel like Dory and Yuta together, someone's gonna be picking it up.
It'll be somewhere.
Like
if they're smart.
Some streaming service has a marketing boon just waiting for them, you know? Like, you're getting 2 vastly different subsections of, like, fandoms there. So, fingers crossed. It's called Cool Doji Danshi. So, we'll, anyway, sorry, Jesse, you missed some Dory news. Hey-yo.
So I'll tag onto this other Japanese news aspect. So Tokyo courts, they upheld the same-sex marriage ban, so that's a bummer. But what can be maybe considered a silver lining is they did recognize the lack of legal protection for same-sex families, that's an infringement on their rights and it needs to be addressed.
Good.
Okay, so hop to it.
When I read it, basically what the judge said was that there's sort of 2 separate parts to the marriage law, and that their job as a court is to uphold the law, not to change the law, right? So they looked at it and they said, the first part of the law says 1 man, 1 woman, and we can't
change that at this level.
But the second part says stuff about dignity and rights and everything, and clearly that part is being violated. So you have basically saying to them, we can't overturn this ruling, but you can take it further. You can appeal. You have rights to do stuff, and basically encouraging them to continue the fight, kind of thing. So it's something. It's maybe not everything, but it's...
And tagging on to that, Korean courts also While they haven't overturned gay marriage, and they haven't allowed gay marriage in Korea either, but they're also saying that same-sex partners deserve spousal benefits from insurances and, businesses and medical rights. So things are slowly changing for the better.
Mm-hmm. One step at a time, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The slow march towards equality.
Combine in with all this other legal stuff that's going on. At one point, Korea's Minister of Gender Equality announced that they were going to be pushing through for an amendment to the law to make a wider range of non-consensual sex punishable as rape. So currently in Korea, anything that in order for something to be considered rape, it has to involve physical violence or weapons. Like, it has to be physical coercion. It can't be she was so drunk she couldn't consent. Like, there's no consent laws. Unfortunately, there was a huge public backlash, and the ministry withdrew its announcement and said, no, we weren't actually, no, we're not planning on doing anything like that.
One step forward, one step back.
Yeah, so clearly they know it's a problem. They just
aren't doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Get it together. Okay, so there's been it's tax season in Korea.
So, what's funny about that is if you do keep your ear to, like, the grapevine of stuff, it just makes you laugh, because it's like, wow, the amount of, like, TV stars or musicians or whoever that have had to step up and be like, okay, everything's fine, I promise, because they're being audited. Everyone's being audited.
So everyone's being audited because it's tax season. But anyway, due to this, all of these actors are being accused of tax evasion, even though no government agency is accusing them of tax evasion. They're just being audited. So Lee Min-ho's company was accused of tax evasion, and his company's like, no, we're just getting audited. This is a normal thing that happens. And I feel like there's going to be some defamation lawsuits coming out of this. Actor Kwon Sang-woo had to pay 1 billion won in back taxes, and his company was like, it wasn't actually tax evasion, it was just like a goofy little mix-up where he bought a building under the company name but used his money to pay for it, so it should have been under his name. He's not in trouble, like, don't worry. And even the tax service was like, no, we know it was just like a little goof. Don't worry. Kim Tae-hee and Lee Byung-hyun were also accused of tax evasion, and their agencies were like, we can provide receipts. Like, do you want to play a stupid game and win a stupid prize, is basically what's happening. So it seems like there's like a popular wave of this is the new accusation to hurl at celebrities is they're tax evaders. There's always something. It's always something.
The tiny silver lining to this is, like, it is good that the public or whoever questions some of these companies, i.e. the Lee Sung-gi company debacle. So, like, crud happens. So some of this it's good to have eyeballs on things. But, yeah, it's like, calm down, guys.
Like,
auditing is a good practice that happens all the time.
It's a normal and it's auditing is good to prevent things like what happened to Lee Sung-gi.
Exactly.
Right, exactly.
So anyway, so a company being audited, like, you can be audited randomly. They randomly pick people to audit every tax season. That doesn't mean everyone's evading their taxes.
My husband gives a lot of money to charity, and every year they go, we don't believe people don't give that much money to charity. And he's like, but last year you did.
I did, and the year
before, and the year,
and every year.
Every year you say no, and I give you the receipts, and you go, oh, our bad.
We got audited. This is so silly. I'm about to tell you. We got audited because the government didn't believe at the height of COVID that my husband worked from home and could claim an office. Because in Canada, you can claim a home office if you work from home. He still works from home. He's been working from home for 3 years. And they were like, yeah, no, we don't believe that. And he's like,
Everybody was working from home.
Yeah, so he's like, fuck it. He's like, I'm never claiming work from home again. Like, this is too much. I don't need this. I don't need this energy in my life. But, yeah. Just, Jesus. So anyway, but like, don't just be willy-nilly accusing people of crimes,
just because they got audited.
Litigion. Eventually someone's gonna be litigious. Mm-hmm. So just play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's all I have to say.
So, I'm going to talk about some remake situations that are happening in Korean, specifically. So, Breaking Bad is going to get a Korean remake. We will touch on this with something else here in a smidge, but that is a thing. It has been announced that the U.S. series Your Honor is getting a Korean remake. It's going to be starring the All of Us Are Dead actor Yoon Chan-young. Just as a little asterisk, that this series was actually... The U.S. series was even an adaptation of an original Israeli series called Kavodo. It's good to know where stuff comes from. So, the final one... Miss Granny is a hit movie from like 2014 or something. I don't remember. But it is getting a remake with Jung Ji-soo, which lovely young actress, playing the lead. It's going to be helmed by Secret Mother's director and Risky Romance's screenwriter.
Why?
We once upon a time watched Miss Granny for our Found Family Patreon movie night. Miss Granny, the lead character, is not a friendly person to watch very long. It's a struggle. So we are wondering why this is being remade.
We were kind of done halfway through the hour-and-a-half movie. So
she's just so unpleasant and selfish.
Feels like a lot of time to spend with somebody who's so unpleasant.
So we're hoping that there's a lot of changes.
It's one of the movie. The issue with the movie, I suppose, is it's a very unlikable character that you're hoping has a redemptive arc or grows, and she doesn't.
Yeah,
she just stays unpleasant.
So whenever just today we saw this news break of, this is getting a remake with this lovely young actress, and it's like, why is it that movie though? Why?
Yeah.
So that was our little funny about that.
All right, and finally, so tying into our Breaking Bad situation, proving once again that, Korea will make money off of stuff like that, off drugs and things, but they are not interested in people actually having problems in real life. UIN is in a lot of trouble right now for a variety of drugs have been found in his system. He was initially being just investigated as part of an investigation. A clinic that he was going to was suspected of allowing people to use an anesthetic recreationally, essentially. And he was found to have used it, I think they said something like 71 times in a year or something, which is about once or twice a week. He has since then also tested positive for marijuana, cocaine, ketamine. He's known to have major health issues. He didn't have to serve in the military because of bone tumors and other issues that his body has. So almost everybody who has seen these headlines, all the netizens, the K netizens, the international netizens, everybody is like, this man is in so much pain that he is taking to these drugs. Drug addicts have been like, nobody uses this combination of drugs for fun. That's not what that is. This is pain management.
So little aside, I am chronically ill, and part of my chronic illness is that I also have chronic pain, and I have so much sympathy for him because I know how easy it is I know other people, not myself. I don't have a problem with opiates because I've been very careful about that because, I know a lot of people who do have problems with pain management drugs. I know, my mom works for a safe injection site, so she deals with people who are severe drug addicts on a daily basis. And I just want to say, like, for anyone out there who's just being very dismissive of this and just calling him like a druggie and being very like, oh, he deserves to go to jail and stuff, they do not understand that like the amount of pain and the amount of bad your life has to get to be taking anesthetics on a regular basis. Like, this isn't like, oh, he's smoking a doob with his friends, which still shouldn't be a crime anyway. But like, if you're taking ketamine and anesthetics and cocaine because you're in pain, and then you're smoking pot because all of those are probably making you nauseated constantly, and a good cure for nausea is pot, it just is. Yeah. Making an example of people like him and sending someone to jail with no resources and all, you're not solving a problem, you're exacerbating a problem.
Well, and you're essentially choosing to torture him. Like, a person in that much, like, that's going to be horrific for him.
Yeah, and so, you know, and this isn't like people in Korea don't realize this, because if you've seen Prison Playbook, this was an entire plot point, was that one of the characters in Prison Playbook was a drug addict, and he gets sent to jail with absolutely no resources to help him and nothing to solve any of his problems that led to him being a drug addict. He detoxes, and everyone's so proud of him. And big spoiler for a several years old show, the minute he leaves jail, he does drugs again. So the fact that they know that, and everyone knows this, everyone who thinks about it half a brain, jailing someone addicted to drugs is not going to stop anyone from doing drugs. It's not going to solve a drug problem. And if you look at someone like Yuan, he's not selling drugs. He's not standing on a street corner saying, hey kids, you want to buy some Coke? He's literally doing pain management. And then by arresting people like him, especially someone as high profile, where it's known that he has chronic pain, it's known that he has these health problems, it's known that he was getting all of this stuff from a clinic. Like, he wasn't, driving down to the alley and making backhanded deals. By arresting someone like him and by jailing people like him and making this big high profile thing, all you're telling people who aren't high profile, who are currently struggling and maybe have turned to drugs, is that if you go and ask for help, we're going to ruin your life and send you to jail. And so you're just compounding the problem. And you can see it in other things. Like, for example, we look back to when Top had all of his problems with marijuana, and the reason you found out that he was smoking pot was because he has severe anxiety and depression. He almost killed himself over it. Who are you helping? So anyway, I saw some very dismissive things about him, because it was just announced that he was replaced on the Hellbound season 2, and people were like, oh, he deserves it. Oh, he did this to himself. And I just want to tell you, the lack of compassion that you have for people in these, while he may not see you saying oh, he deserves it for having an opiate problem. There's someone that you don't know has a similar problem. It may not be quite to the level of taking fucking Proverol 2 times a week and ketamine, but you probably know someone who sees you.
Or your chronically ill friend who struggles with pain on a daily basis sees what you're saying. 'Cause
that could be me. Well, there's and also, that could be me.
One thing I did want to throw in really quick is also, this is not necessarily just to pick on the Korean government jail system. This is a Western problem as well. This is a wide problem. Sure. I did want to we are very aware that this is not, it's just we are specifically covering this specific case, so that's why we were discussing this.
So,
and it just makes me so upset to see it. It makes me feel so sad for him, because he seems like a nice guy, and just imagining how hurt he must feel on a regular basis for this to be his life.
Well, and just thinking about some of the roles that he's taken, Alive had a lot of, he was kind of parkouring around there and stuff, taking roles like that. And I'm just thinking, even back a few years ago, he had gained weight, and netizens were really,
mean about it. I remember them being incredibly mean
he'd
about
gotten,
it.
which he was not fat. He was still smoking hot and looked
He
great.
looked fine.
But like, people were mean, and then he has lost a lot of weight, and it makes you wonder, like, you know, did he put on weight because of, you know, pain management issues and stuff? And then are some of these other drugs, like cocaine's not usually considered a pain management drug, but you know what it does do? It helps with
keep you awake
and stuff, and helps keep you awake.
And it helps keep you awake,
you know?
Because if you're, you know, as someone who deals with chronic pain but doesn't take drugs because of personal problems that I don't really want to get into because I have to deal with my childhood and everything. You know what you do when you're in a lot of pain? You sleep a lot. Because when you're sleeping, you're not consciously aware how much everything hurts. But he has to be awake. And if he's on anesthetics to help him get to sleep, they're hard to get out of. So of course you're going to do something like ketamine. An upper to like balance you out. And so, like, and people are just not seeing, they're not seeing the forest for the trees right now. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this is indicative of a larger issue than drugs are bad.
Yeah.
Well, and especially, I don't want to like defend every single high profile actor and musician or something that has drug issues. However, people that know that they are under the public eye, usually if they are still taking the risk to use on some level, there's usually
a reason,
a pretty legitimate or serious thing going on that is causing them to feel the need to do that.
If nothing other than addiction, you know, like it may be simply that they got into it recreationally and now they're addicted. But an addiction is a serious issue as well, and it and we should be providing supports for people, not putting them in jail, because putting addicts in jail, it doesn't help anybody. Like, they're only hurting themselves. Like, putting people in jail for crimes that don't hurt other people doesn't make any sense. Like,
also, just as a side note to the other things that we were discussing earlier, if your law system doesn't even punish things like rape pedophilia near as severely as just drug use, there is a problem there. And again, that doesn't matter if that's Korea or in the West or like anything. Like,
doesn't matter where it is.
If your punishment system is that imbalanced for violent crime versus just addiction, that's an issue. Like,
like when Seriously. Someone like Sungri faces less jail time than UIN, you have a problem right here that is a larger systemic problem than drugs are bad. Like, anyway, I just feel so bad for him. I literally, it makes me so upset to just see some, like, you know, I feel like a lot of people have been very understanding because, like, people know about his bone tumors. People know about his chronic pain. People know that he's just a quiet guy, right? Like, people know that he's not out there partying. He's not, you know, getting in drunk driving, getting into trouble. He's not doing any of that. And so, but I've seen more than I'm comfortable to admit, like more than I'm comfortable with, of people having absolutely no empathy for him and people like him in his situation. And it makes me so incensed because that could be anyone. Like, you're one bad accident away from this being your life.
Well, and I do want to say, like, so if you are someone that doesn't have chronic pain issues or something, and maybe you don't have a loved one that does struggle with those things, maybe you haven't thought of it before, but to me, when you see this, or, you know, you're obviously listening still, so, like, if this isn't something you've considered before, start thinking, you know, this is a thing that people deal with, and it's possible that even someone you know deals with similar issues, even if it is just struggling with chronic pain or disease or something. It just like we talk all the time about, like, there's way more immunocompromised people or anything than you're even aware of.
Realize.
So, like, and again, as Natalia just said, you are a car accident or a little freak misstep away from becoming that yourself.
Like, I mean, people who have cancer didn't have cancer one day they didn't have cancer and the next day they did. Like,
I was a healthy kid. Until I was about 7 years old, I was incredibly healthy.
Right?
So, well, okay, sort of. From the ages of about 3 to 7, I was incredibly healthy.
When you do run across these news, these things that happen to actors or musicians or whoever in the entertainment industry, these are people. Like,
yeah,
just remember that.
Yeah, and have a little bit of compassion for people in the world who need it.
And like we said before, there are guaranteed people people you're friends with or family members who are struggling with the same issues, and you just don't know about it. So your behavior, your words and actions, they are seeing that.
Yeah.
So,
and the reason you don't know about it is because of these same situations that are coming to light, where if you think your life is going to get further ruined by asking for help, you're never going to ask for help. Mm-hmm. And so I think that
do you really want people to exist in absolute hopelessness? That usually doesn't turn out very well.
No,
there's no good end to this, right?
There really isn't. The only good end would be I don't know, get him into a rehab program and maybe community service or something, probation. Sending someone like him to jail, what is that going to solve? What is that going to do? It's not going to do anything except for literally torture a sick person for, 2 or so years and then throw him back out to have a ruined career.
Right.
Good job. Did justice served? Anyway.
But then also the whole concept of public shame with this, and like you just said, a ruined career, never going to be able to come back to that. I wish even that type of thing could eventually slowly change, realizing that people who are sick, they're just sick.
Yeah.
Let them work if they can.
Well,
oh my gosh.
Especially when we are seeing that far worse crimes don't ruin people's careers.
Yeah.
Bingo.
So, what's his face that we constantly see?
Yeah, there are some people that we would just like to not see anymore,
see.
They're in everything, and it's annoying. But UIN, who I would like to continue seeing in things, I might never see in other stuff again, and for no good reason. So, that sucks.
Anyway, a little bit of a downer.
That was a super heavy way to end Newsnas.
This is Newsnas, but you know what? We're gonna hope for the best, okay?
Yeah.
Because, while I hope that, because from what I see, overwhelmed, for the most part, the majority of people have sympathy for him rather than cruelty towards him. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that maybe the sort of the public opinion that this is a well-known sick man can maybe be given him and people like him a little bit of grace rather than throwing the book at him. But we'll have to see what happens. Anyway,
I mean, we could end on a happy note.
Lucas is back. Lucas is back.
Oh, has it been announced that he's back?
It's not been announced, but he's showing up on the social medias. He's been
on the official socials. He's been around.
He's been shown.
So,
that's
hanging
fascinating.
Out with the CEOs and stuff. So, of course, he was hanging out with the SM CEO before all the.
Okay, well, listen, we can't talk about that. We don't know enough about.
No. Here's the one thing we will say. We are aware there is a large, very complex news story with multiple entertainment industries within the music.
But we're not well versed enough in business to really get into it.
There are too many moving parts in this moment that makes it worthwhile for us to really break that down for you. I will say, whenever things finally settle at some point, hopefully, we'll be willing to talk a little bit more about that. But, everything's moving so quick with that, it's kind of just watch it as it goes. So, that's
there are some other accounts that you can go find where they are really breaking this stuff down and seem to have a better grasp
understanding.
Of it. We're here for a fun time, not a
we're here for a fun time and social justice. Okay, those are our two things. We have three things that we're all about here: fun times, social justice, and the alphabet mafia. Those are our three. Those are our three things.
Our soapbox is only so big. Like
we can only fit so much content. Okay, we can only fit so much content.
I mean, basically, it's a whole capitalism story, and we just don't. We don't jive with
that ain't us, baby. That ain't us.
But again,
we ain't about the
I'm
capitalist
sure
life.
we will review that probably next Newsnas. We'll maybe have something
easier
to say.
More definitive.
Things will be more settled and final.
That's a developing story that we will allow to continue to develop.
Until next time we do the Newsnas. Anyway, thank you for listening to us. We hope you had a great time listening to this episode. Maybe you learned about a few stories about that you didn't know about. And maybe got some perspective on some stories. That's what we like to do here. We like to be, try to do good things to make you have a better week. That's our only aim in this podcast, is to just do good for people to enjoy. So we hope that you did enjoy it. And if you want to keep enjoying it, you can listen to us wherever podcasts can be found. But they're also on our YouTube channel that you should go subscribe to, because we also do live streams over there. We just did a really fun one about what's coming up in March. We do what's coming up in the next month, the last Monday of every month. It's super fun. Anyway, and if you want to support this podcast, you can go to patreon.com/certifiednoonas to join the Certified Found family. They are a family on the web, and we give them little extras, and they have special badges on our free-to-join Discord, which you should definitely join. Links to everything we talk about and time codes can be found on our website, certifiednoonas.com, which has every single episode we've literally ever done. You can find on our website with links and time codes. So it's an extensive, and we've been at this for many a year, so it's an extensive back catalog. So if you're new to listening to us, welcome. We hope you hang around. We'd love to have you. And you can check out literally 4 years worth of content to keep you going on those commutes or while you're working at whatever you're doing for work. Anyway, we hope that you enjoyed listening. We hope that you continue to stay safe out there. And as always, think of the people who need your help and your grace by washing your hands and wearing a mask. And as always, keep enjoying Asian entertainment. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.